Well, hello there, it's Ellen from Rent Roll Starter, and welcome to episode 3 of Ellen Reads Her Blog. Now, today's episode is particularly exciting. We're going to be going through a blog titled 3 Tips for a Successful Rent Roll in 2021, but I thought that this was especially timely given that today that I'm actually recording this episode is the first day of the new financial year. So it feels like the perfect time to just review things a little bit, feel as though you're having a bit of a fresh start. Sure, it's not a brand new year, but it's definitely a brand new financial year. So today's episode is perfect for the first day of a new financial year. So let's get started by reading a little bit of the blog. Now, whether you're watching this with me live, whether you're watching the video of it on replay, or whether you are listening to this on a podcast, I think you'll enjoy this episode because the way we run these episodes is I read my blog, but then I'll take a little pause to come back and share some extra thoughts with you throughout the blog. So what I'm going to do, if you're watching the blog, is I'm actually going to pull up the blog online so that you can watch it online. And if you're listening to this, that's okay too. You can just listen along. So let's get started on Ellen Reads Her Blog. 3 tips for a successful rent roll in 2021. If you're in property management, there's a good chance you've struggled to find the perfect work-life balance at times. And if you've been in property management in 2020 or the first half of 2021, there's a very good chance that it's been the hardest time of your career. Now, you might be feeling like you're ready to bid farewell to 2020, or in this case, bid farewell to the first half of 2021. Put it behind you and dive first into the new financial year. But before you do, let's take 10 minutes to perform a quick business and life audit so you can step into the new year to make it the best year of your life. Now, before I keep reading, I just want to come back to you for a moment. I know that something that I'm really guilty of at the end of a calendar year is that I just want to walk away. I want to step away from it as quickly as I possibly can and move into the new year as fast as humanly possible. However, doing an end of year audit is super valuable. And today, being the first day of the new financial year, why not take a moment to do a little audit on the previous financial year or the first half of 2021. Let's keep reading. So here are 3 areas to audit before you jump into the new year. Number 1, boundaries. The last year included weeks or even months of lockdowns. And as I'm recording this right now, I'm just pausing from reading the blog for a moment. As I'm recording this right now, I'm in Greater Sydney and we're in lockdown. So back to the blog. So you might have spent a lot of time on the phone and in emails with your landlords and tenants. In fact, you might have spent more time communicating with your landlords and tenants in the last year than all of the years before, because heaven knows they've needed it. Truth is, as an amazing property manager or a rent roll owner, of course you want to make yourself available to support your landlords and tenants at times of stress. Of course you do. But supporting landlords and tenants 24/7 comes with a cost to you. Your mental well-being, your stress levels, and your ability to keep doing a great job in the future. I'm just going to pause for a moment here, because I know that as a rent roll owner, as a property manager, as someone who's providing amazing service to your landlords and tenants, of course you want to be available to them. I know that you want to deliver the best experience to them and you want to support those, especially when you know what's going on in their life and you know that they're under stress and they're experiencing challenges themselves. So of course you want to help them. Sorry, my screen just played up there for a moment. Thanks to live video. Of course you want to help your landlords and tenants. However, there's a price to pay and there is a cost, and the cost is usually one that you end up paying if you are available 24/7. All right, let's keep reading. So as you step into a new year, or a new financial year, it's time to look at the boundaries you have with your clients. Consider the hours you officially work versus the hours you are actually in contact with your clients. What message are you sending your clients if you are communicating with them after hours? Ask yourself a few questions. How do your clients currently contact you? So you might notice that you're getting emails, text messages, phone calls, Facebook messages, Instagram DMs, as well as messaging through your landlord and tenant portal. So list down all the ways your clients currently contact you so that you've got a bit of a starting point. Then ask yourself, how do you want your clients to contact you? It might be time to streamline the way your clients contact you. So while it's great to have many platforms for communication, you can actually teach your clients how to communicate with you. So for example, you could set up autoresponders in Facebook Business Manager so that any messages that come in after hours on Facebook and on Instagram, because you can link the two, these direct your clients on how they can access help after hours. So you can do a similar thing with your emails as well, so that you don't have to be checking your phone after hours. I know, I'm just going to pause here for a moment. I know that for me, that's always been one of my biggest struggles. Like, what if something goes wrong after hours? How do I make sure that, we don't end up with a property that's seriously damaged? So streamlining these things, having autoresponders after hours can be a way of ensuring that your clients are still looked after hours. Let's keep reading. Okay, so ask yourself this: how can you better serve your clients? Now, if you are going to set boundaries here, then you've got to set up systems that serve your clients well, right? So this might mean you need to set up a frequently asked questions section of your website. It might mean that you need to create a troubleshooting guide for your tenants. It might mean that you use artificial intelligence or chatbots to respond to some of your emails. It might mean that you need to build some chatbots for Facebook Messenger so that it answers questions for people even when you're not sitting there on Facebook, because even during the day, you're not going to be sitting on Facebook the whole time. Well, you shouldn't be. So having this stuff set up in the background is so useful and such a wonderful way to serve your clients well. Having boundaries will protect your mental health, and it will actually allow you to deliver even better service to your clients as a result. I'm going to pause here before we keep reading the blog. I think one of the things that creating boundaries does is it forces us to come up with creative ways that we can serve our clients. It helps us develop systems and strategies that help support our clients even when we're not there. And look, even when it's during business hours, it's still great to have these systems and automations in place so that when we're not at our desk or when we're on the phone or when we're at an inspection, our clients can still be supported and assisted. All right, let's keep reading because we're on to number 2, social media. Now, you probably know how valuable social media can be for growing your rent roll and your agency brand. So it can be easy to spend hours and hours scrolling, clicking, and watching and comparing on social media. Look, I'm guilty as charged. But as you are auditing your social media use for the last year or the last financial year, creating a plan for your social media use, here are 3 tips that you can consider. Tip number 1. Plan your social media posting schedule at least a week in advance, a month in advance if you possibly can, and schedule it. That way, you're organized with your social media. You'll know your posts are appearing automatically without having to think about it for the rest of the week. If you need help with your social media planning, in the comments below this video or in the description for wherever you're watching this video, or listening to the podcast, I'll make sure that there is a link to register for the Social Summit, which is our free social media training. And I'll also include a link to the template for 2 social media posts you can download and use. So wherever you are watching or listening to this stream, you can find those links as well. Tip number 2, set 1 time per day to check your socials. Having this dedicated time each day will reduce your chances of ending up on social media mindlessly scrolling. And then tip number 3 is probably the hardest one, certainly the hardest one for me to do. Remove social media from your phone. And look, I've had to do this myself. If you're hooked on social media after the last 12 to 18 months we've had, and you want to get social media back under control, delete the app from your phone, at least until you break the habit. If you want to get more help with getting your social media back under control, come and register for the Social Summit training, which will be happening later on this year. You can register in advance, and that way you'll get lots of tips about planning and stepping away from your social media in this training event. But there's just one thing to remember with social media as we move into this next financial year. Use social media to grow your business, your brand, your rent roll, but don't let social media use you. Now, I know that you are quite possibly watching this video on social media or listening to the podcast on a social platform. So the key thing here is just to let you use it rather than the other way around, being deliberate with how you use it rather than the other way around. And I know that for me, that often means that I just have to delete the apps from my phone for a little while just to break the habit, because while they're on my phone, I find it really hard to step away. So you do you, but for me, removing the apps from my phone just for a little while, a couple of weeks, can be the exact reset that I need. All right, let's keep reading. Number 3 in this blog is goals. So we're going to audit our goals. It's usually at the start of a new year, or in this case, new financial year, that you're thinking about your goals, or maybe, new financial year's resolutions. But this time, think about your goals differently. Of course, you do want to be setting your growth goals for your rent roll, but consider lifestyle and wellness goals in the context of your growth goals. So it's common to set goals around growing your rent roll by a certain number of properties in the year. But this time, ask yourself what it's going to take to hit that goal. If there's anything that the last 12 months have taught us, or the last 18 months now have taught us, it is the value of our health and our relationships with friends and family. So take a moment to look at your growth goals for the new financial year and just decide if they support you to maintain good health and strong relationships with those people that you love. Here's where it gets challenging. If you look at those goals and realize that you have to work 60 hours a week, miss out on family time, eat takeaway for lunch most days, and never have time to exercise in order to achieve those goals, you might need to rethink your growth goals. Joyce Sunada said it best, and I don't know if I said her surname correctly, but this quote is awesome. If you don't make time for wellness, you will be forced to make time for illness. So set your rent roll growth goals wisely and include goals that support your wellness, your health, your relationships, and your lifestyle too. So even though the last 12 to 18 months has been a really difficult year for property management, take the lessons, the learnings that you've received and use them to create inspiring and well-balanced goals for your new financial year. Now, if you want more ideas for growing your rent roll in this financial year, register for my masterclass that we're running, 5 ways to grow your rent roll, and you can just head to rentrollstarter.com/5 ways if you want to register for that. So they're my 3 tips on the 3 areas of your life to do a little audit of before you move into the new financial year, because this is always the time that we are looking at, well, where are we up to in our growth? Where are we heading for the second half of the year or for the new financial year? But if you just take a couple of moments to audit those 3 areas of your life, to look at your boundaries, to look at your social media, and to reassess your goals within the framework of your own health as well, it will be amazing to see the impact that little audit, that 10 minutes of your time has on the next 6 months. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Ellen Reads Her Blog. Make sure that you check out the notes or the comments on whatever platform you are watching or listening this so that you can grab all the resources I've mentioned. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.